nama resmi Riana Layat. Today, me Nur Adibah binti Sukor will present on my Asian research proposal. The title is Improving Pupils' Weaknesses in Using Capital Letter and Full Stop Using Digital Storybook. So here, I will talk about the introduction, research focus, research objectives and questions, research participants, proposed implementation of action plan, and the conclusion. As we all know, language is our primary source of communication, where we can share our thoughts and ideas with other people. According to Ministry of Malaysia Education 2018, English language curriculum stresses the development of literacy and critical literacy, whereby the ability to read and write. Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013-2025 also specifies that every pupil must independently proficient in English language. This is because English language aims to equip pupils with basic language skills that consist of 4 skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. Writing is a productive skill where an individual can share their thoughts and ideas with other people to achieve the purpose or the objectives of interaction. It is also given significance of which writing is the most preferred outcome expected of pupils. Writing is very important that communication is transmitted more through writing than any other type of media. So, pupils need effective writing skills to meet their academic needs and workplace requirements. So the context of the study, I had undergone my first phase of practicum in one of rural school in Tuaran district, which is SK Kauluan. It was a small school where there are only 6 classes, which 1 class for each year. I had taught year 2 pupils that catered 16 pupils of 10 boys and 10 girls and 6 boys. Reflection of teaching and learning experience. During my practicum, I noticed that the remedial and average pupils weak in writing skills, and they didn't pay much attention in using capital letter and full stop. Because of this, I had to lower down my objective, especially for writing skills, and did many adaptations to suit their level of proficiency. When they presenting their work, I noticed some of them couldn't use capital letter and full stop correctly, and some of them could not finish the task, even though I have gave them plenty of time to finish it. I presume that they could be bored with the lesson, as I used unattractive teaching aids to teach them. According to Angel et al. 2014, teaching materials is not only for teaching, but it is an aid to learning, because the pupils has the tendency to forget what the teacher teach, and the use of teaching materials is very important because it can help them to retain the knowledge in their life and use it in their life. Besides, I also seldom use an interesting and meaningful learning activity where I always use manila cards, margin paper, and colorful marker pens to teach them writing skills, because I thought they already knew how to use capital letter and full stop correctly. But after a few weeks, I found that I have to teach capital letter and full stop correctly, because it is to prevent the long-term writing problem. So here, the research focuses on 3 elements, which are vocabulary, practicality, and significance. The usage of digital storybook can complement an English language course as the main teaching resource according to Alice. It can act as a springboard to wide variety of activity to develop English language skills, and it has a potential to bring other areas of curriculum in life. Besides, it also can improve other skills, which are reading skills, listening skills, and speaking skill, and can be very useful in learning language. For example, the pupils can learn vocabulary, actions, sentence structures, and sentence patterns. The practicality of study. Digital storybook is inexpensive as the teacher no need to spend more time, energy, and cost to prepare the materials. This is because most of the school in Malaysia provides ICT in schools, such as laptop, Wi-Fi, speaker, LCD, and any other ICT facilities. It is also accessible because digital storybook can be found in Google, and the teacher can download it from Google. Digital storybook also very flexible as it managed to catch pupils' interest and motivation in learning, which can increase pupils' linguistic and cognitive development. Moving on to the significance. Learning to write is a developmental process, and using capital letters and punctuation is part of that development. It can increase pupils' readability and comprehension too. Here, I will use Macniff and Whitehead action research cycle model, where the first phase is observe, where I will observe the problems that the pupils face. Next, I will reflect what I have observed and act towards the problems, and then I will evaluate the act that I have implemented and modify it if it could not achieve the objectives. There are two research objectives. First, to explore ways to improve Year 2 pupils' ability to write sentences properly using capital letter at the beginning of a sentence and a full stop at the end of the sentence. The second one, to investigate the benefits of using digital storybook to overcome the pupils' weaknesses in using capital letter and full stop at the beginning and at the end of the sentence. The research questions, there are two also. First, how can I teach capital letter and full stop effectively? And the second one, how can digital storybook helps to improve the weaknesses in using capital letter and full stop? The research participants. In this research, it consists of 5 pupils from Year 2 class, where 4 boys and 1 girl. They are all living in the village near to the school. They also are second language learners and mixed ability, and they always use Malay language and Dusun language to communicate with their teachers and friends. Besides, the pupils also low proficiency and had difficulties to identify the words that needed to be capitalized. Plan of action, procedures of implementation in cycle 1. First, I will observe, whereby I will conduct a diagnostic test, reflect on the problems faced by the pupils and method to overcome it, and act how I will act. First, I will show the capital letters and full stop cards to the pupils. I will introduce the usage of capital letter and full stop using cards, and then I will read the digital storybook together with the pupils, and I will ask if they see any difference of the letters and punctuations. The difference can be seen through the size of the letters and the colors. I will explain the rules of using capital letter and full stop, and then the pupils will paste the correct letter cards and write it on the writing form, and then they will answer the questions on the worksheet given. For evaluate, I will reflect on the strengths and weaknesses and modify the method to achieve the research objectives. For cycle 2, I will think and plan on how to improve the method, which is the digital storybook, to achieve the objectives. Data collection method. Here I will use 3 methods, which are observation, document analysis, and interview. How I will observe them? I will observe it using observation checklist, where I will focus on their responses and actions, emotions, and their attitudes. I also will use diagnostic tests where I will implement it during observation phase. For document analysis, I will analyze them using worksheet that I will use after I implement the alternatives. And interview, I will use Malay language and ask open-ended questions whereby the pupils will show the cards that shows their emotions. This is my example of observation checklist. I focus on pupils' action, pupils' reaction, pupils' responses, and pupils' attitudes. And this is the sample of worksheet. I ask them the correct punctuation, the correct capital letter, and they have to write correct usage of capital letter and full stop. And this is the interview questions. Here, this is the cards that they will show it to the teacher. The green card shows it is good and red means no, not really good. There are 5 questions that I will ask, and these are the translation of English interview. For data analysis methods, for observation, I will code the data in few tips, which are action, reactions, responses, and attitudes. And I will develop an index system for me to observe whether they agree or they feel good with the alternatives. And then for document analysis, I will collect participants' work, which is the worksheet, and check and mark their worksheet, and then tabulate pupils' mark in the scoring table. I will use percentage and maybe graph to see their improvement or the effect of using digital storybook in teaching writing skill. For interview, I will transcribe the video into writing and highlight the important points and write their body gestures and emotions and also the voice. So here is the schedule of study. In January and February, I had brief research. In February and March, reflect on teaching and learning experience, develop problem statement and focus, identify research participants, discuss problem with the supervisor, and plan a strategy, and draft the proposal. And then in March, check the proposal, and March and April, submit the proposal, and in June, implement the strategy, analyze and interpret the data, and in August, September and October, reflect on the strategy, and in October and November, I will write the action research report. In October, check the action research report, write the action research article, submit the action research article, action research presentation, review the action research report, bind the action research report, and submit the action research report. So this is my estimation budget. I only use 80 GSM white A4 papers, one ream, and ink printed, two cartridges to print relevant materials such as worksheet. So, in conclusion, digital storybook aims to help pupils to understand easily on how to use capital letter and full stop correctly in a sentence. I hope that using digital storybook, it can increase the learner's motivation and using this simple, interesting method. So these are my references. That is all from me. Thank you.